You're one of two people. One, either stuck in a 9 to 5 or school wondering, is this it? Or two, an existing setter or closer stuck between 2 to 7K per month. If that's you, listen closely. In the next 20 minutes, I'll show you the exact system I use to hit consistent 30 to 50K months in high ticket sales. One skill set, high ticket closing, broken down into my 5-step framework that anyone can learn. In this video for free, I'm sharing what I paid tens of thousands of dollars to learn. So don't skip through, watch the entire video in full, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to run a closing call like a top closer, how to land an A-level offer with 10K per month plus earning potential, how to crush sales interviews even with no sales experience, and a step-by-step game plan to hit your first 10K per month in 8 weeks or less. Now, if you're someone who's looking for quick or easy money or just a part-time side hustle, click off of this video because this isn't it. Sales will push you to your limits. You will grow a lot as a person. And I'll be honest, it's because sales is difficult. So why should you listen to me? In 2025, I hit top 1% in the industry in less than 18 months, passing closers with decades of experience. With Vincent Fischer, I was the first ever closer on board. We scaled from zero to almost $700,000 per month with just the high ticket sales team, where I was the top closer 15 out of 18 months closing. My personal take home has been a consistent 30 to 50K per month in strictly commissions. I started living the quote unquote dream life where I was able to travel, eat nice dinners whenever I wanted, buy a new car, all while I closed deals from my laptop. But what really mattered to me wasn't the money or the lifestyle, it was the freedom that high ticket sales has given me. The freedom to be able to go out there and live life on my own terms, to be able to provide for my family and show them that a different path is possible. But as some of you do know, I didn't always start here. Just 2 years ago, I was bouncing from warehouse job to warehouse job, sitting in classes that I didn't care about, all while feeling stuck and frustrated deep down, knowing that I was meant for more, knowing I had a purpose, but not knowing how to go out there and put that into reality. Now, if you're in a similar spot, everything changed for me when I realized this one thing. The difference between the 99% and the 1% that you strive to be like is just focus. It's never been easier to win, and it's never been easier to get distracted. Good news is your attention is your choice. You can choose to focus, choose to take control of your life, and choose to go out there and provide for your loved ones. Or you can go back to doom scrolling Instagram and being mindless with your time, wondering where the days, weeks, and months and years are going when they're slipping away right in front of you with how you spend your time, the one finite resource that we all possess. That choice is yours. Since you made it this far, I know you'll focus. Let's put our phone on airplane mode, pen and paper out, let's do the boring stuff now. This one free video can change your life as long as you get out of your own way and allow yourself to change. So, for those of you that don't know, what is high ticket sales? Very simple. When you go on Instagram or TikTok, you see these influencers. One thing that they all have in common is gonna be they sell some sort of training program, a community, a course, or whatever. As a closer, all you're doing is jumping on those calls, selling your product or a service to someone who already wants to work with the coach that you partnered up with, and they pay you 10% of that. Let's do some math. So if you're closing a package that goes from 5K, 10K, or all the way up to 15K, that's gonna be $500 to $1,500 in your pocket from one singular Zoom call. Most people don't even make that in a week or even a month. And no, you're not gonna be doing any cold calls and dialing people that don't wanna hear from you. As a closer, all you're doing is helping people that already want your product or service make an uncomfortable decision to invest into themselves, learn a skill set, and go out there and actually make a change in their life. This way, they're able to go out there and see success in business, fitness, or whatever other industry that you're selling in. One thing to keep in mind, it's very important to make sure you actually go out there and sell for a good offer, because I can tell you this for a fact, you will not be able to make money if you're selling for an offer that you don't believe in. So go out there, take the time and find an offer that you believe in that actually delivers on the promises that you make and cares for the customer. Now, in high ticket sales, there's gonna be two main roles. One is gonna be the closer, and the second one is gonna be the appointment setter. The setter's job is very simple, just to book appointments for the closer. They're gonna be dialing people up that are opting into the funnel or shooting out DMs. Their goal is just to put them on the closer's calendar and make sure that they show up. Generally, setters make anywhere from 2 to 5K per month. What's really good about appointment setting is it's very easy to get into. This way you're able to get a lot of repetition in from dialing hundreds of people every single day. Learn the skill set while you're able to surround yourself with other setters, other closers, and other people with the right mindset so you can grow and develop to become the person that you want to be. Now, the next position, as you know, is the closer. The closer's job is going to be to take Zoom calls. On the Zoom calls, you figure out if you can help out the prospect with their specific goal. If you can, you close them on your product. You close the deal, collect the payment. Generally, closers make anywhere from 3 to 15K per month. 2 out of 3 billionaires started in sales or their families either had experience in sales. At the end of the day, everything in this life is gonna be sales, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, whether it's business, whatever. Literally everything is gonna be sales, and one way or another, you're gonna have to learn sales. So you might as well be intentional and master this skill set while you're young and set yourself up for success. Now that you know what this opportunity is, what sales is, let's dive right into the free course where I'm gonna break down exactly how you can go out there and crush it in sales. Also, stick around to the very end. I'm gonna be giving away an exercise my mentors did with me that allowed me to audit my life and fast track my success. With that said, let's dive right in. The reality is your mindset is gonna be the number one thing that determines whether you succeed or you fail. So what I'm giving you is 2 mindset shifts that I adopted back in 2023 that allowed me to change my life so quickly. Number 1 is going to be seeing discomfort as growth. Your current identity has gotten you to exactly where you're at today. If you want a different life, you need a different identity. Anything worthwhile is going to be hard, whether it's a physique, an income, a business, a car, whatever. And the reality is, if it wasn't hard to have these things, everyone would have it and you probably wouldn't even want it in the first place. Now, you need to understand why these things actually feel hard to attain. The reason it feels so hard is because your current self creates resistance against doing the inputs that build you to your desired self. The mental pushback that you receive before going to the gym, before doing the sales training after a long day, before waking up early to go out there and work on your business, that resistance is the number one thing that keeps you stuck. So how do we beat it? You need to reframe in your mind the discomfort as growth. Don't treat discomfort as a stop sign. Treat it as the exact reason on why you should move forward. Because the reality is, you're not gonna have the things that you want without going through an uncomfortable period and putting in these inputs, so you might as well program yourself to enjoy it. And the delayed gratification that you're gonna get from doing these inputs and putting in the work is gonna be 10 times better than the instant gratification you get from your bad habits anyways. So to recap, learn to enjoy the things that you don't wanna do, because the reality is you're gonna have to do them. There's no reality where you have the things you want without doing the inputs for them. So reprogram yourself to enjoy reviewing your sales calls, to do sales training every single morning, to track all of your sales data and KPIs. And if you're just starting out, writing out your script 5 times so you can get it memorized. Doing these things consistently is going to determine whether in your first year you go out there and reach the top 1% in the industry, or you're just like everybody else making 4 or 5 grand in a month. A year from now, you could change your life, but it depends on what you put in. Next mindset shift is be ruthless with your time. Each and every one of us, me, you, Elon Musk, and even the homeless guy under the bridge, we all have 24 hours in a day. Where you end up is determined exactly by how you spend your 24. So don't say you don't have time for it when the reality is someone in your same shoes is probably working harder than you or has a better physique than you. And what it comes down to is priorities. A lot of people like to say, I'm working full time, I can't start a business. Until you start the business, you're gonna be working that 9 to 5 till you die. I know it's a rough reality to look at, but the sooner you go out there and learn the skill set of sales or build the business, the sooner you're actually able to supplement your income, leave your 9 to 5 job, and have your time back, not the other way around. Let's be mindful on how we spend our time, and 2026 is gonna be the year where everything changes. As far as the closing call, I have a very simple 5-step framework that anyone can learn. Number 1 is gonna be the intro, discovery, desired outcome, cost of inaction, and then transition into pitch and close. Firstly is the intro and setting frame. I teach this separately because how the first 2 minutes of the call goes is going to determine how the prospect treats and views you for the rest of the conversation. So first things first, on the intro, you always want to have high energy. You should make the prospect think, why is this guy so happy to be on a Zoom call at 1 p.m.? One thing to keep in mind is never be overly eager or excited or grateful for the prospect showing up. If you say some shit along the lines of, thank you for taking the time out of your day to jump on this call, or start glazing the prospect, they're not going to respect you and you're going to have zero authority on the sales call. I want you to view this as a doctor's visit. The doctor doesn't thank you for coming in. He wants to find what the problem is, where it hurts, how long it's been hurting for. Then he gives you a prescription and you take it because you trust the doctor and he has authority. Same thing with the sales call. So have good energy. Don't be dead. Be happy to see the prospect, but maintain your authority. I like to start off by saying something simple like, nice to put a face to a name. How's everything on your end today? After this, I do something called a time check. This very simply is just to confirm the prospect has 45 minutes to an hour set aside without any interruptions or anything coming up, because you can't sell someone who has to leave in 20 minutes to drop off their kids or whatever. Next thing, we're going to be setting the agenda for the sales call. The whole purpose of this is to take charge of the call. This lets the prospect know that you're in charge, you're asking the questions, this call goes the way you say it goes, and you gain permission from the prospect. They always say yes. Second step is going to be the discovery. Now, for most of you, if you're going to be selling a biz ops offer, meaning you teach people how to make money. So the whole point of the discovery is to figure out what their current situation is, what emotions that they're feeling from being in that situation, as well as get a few tangibles. Simple. Example for biz ops offer. You're teaching someone how to make money. You need to figure out what they're doing to currently make money, how they feel about what they're doing, how much money they're currently making per month, as well as really tie it to the emotion so you can have leverage. Figure out what the problem is. Only then are you able to sell them a solution to the problem. Next example. If you're selling fitness, you'd want to figure out where they're currently at, what they're trying in the gym, what their height and weight is, and how they feel about their physique and their health. Because the reality is, if the prospect won't admit to having a problem, you won't be able to sell them on a solution. Secondly, humans make decisions emotionally. So you want to get as much emotion as you can. A lot of times you're going to get surface level answers. You need to know how to push past that. Now, the next part of the sales call is going to be the desired outcome, as well as the future pace. The whole point of this is to figure out where the prospect wants to go, tie it to something tangible, and then figure out what emotions they would feel from being there. So again, if we're selling biz ops, if their goal is to be able to go out there, leave their job, help out their family, or buy a new car, amazing, you figured that out. Now you want to tie it to a number. How much money would they need to make per month with X, Y, and Z business model to actually go out there and have these things in their life that they want? Now, the next part is going to be cost of inaction. Figure out if they're happy with their current situation. If it's fitness, the current body that they have, the answer should be no. So all you want to do is get the prospect to verbalize that they're not satisfied with where they're at. From here, the prospect has already admitted they're not okay with their current situation. It is time to make a change. This is where you talk a little bit about your program. I always drop drop the price before I pitch. This way there's no shock or any wow factor when they hear the price tag at the very end. This way the prospect also has time to justify the price and build up the value throughout the pitch. So now that you've dropped the price and you've gotten some sort of commitments and hopefully pre-handled objections if you saw any uncertainties, when you're pitching, you don't want to just tell the prospect what the deliverables are and what they're getting. You want to show them their life inside of your program and what it's going to look like to work with your coach. If they told you that they struggle with X, Y, and Z within the business, tie each of their struggles to the deliverables and put more emphasis on that. Now you have these coaching calls, so every time you're stuck on X, Y, and Z, you're able to jump on and get that direct help so you can learn the skill set and make X, Y, and Z per month so you can leave your job. You wouldn't do everything all at once, but something along the lines of that. So this way you're constantly future pacing the prospect throughout the pitch while solving the problems that they told you about. Also, don't forget to gain commitments throughout the pitch. Keep it engaging, confirm that they understand everything and answer their questions. This way you're killing uncertainty throughout the pitch. You know what they say, an uncertain prospect is never gonna buy. So you wanna make sure you can transfer that certainty to your prospect. It's very important that you speak with conviction and you are sure that this is the right thing for the prospect. After the pitch, we always gain commitment to make sure that the prospect feels confident that what we went over today can actually allow them to go out there and reach their goals. Once they give you the yes, ask them why. Now they're selling to you, why they feel confident that your product or service can allow them to reach their goals. Now, before you ask for the sale, always expect the objection and be very neutral when objection handling. I won't cover objection handling in this video. At the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that a solid discovery and the ability to draw emotions the right way is a lot more valuable than memorizing word tracks. What I did do is create a free flowchart that covers every single objections you're gonna face in high ticket sales and the exact word tracks you can use to handle that. So if you want that, DM me the word objection on Instagram and I'll shoot that over to you for free. I also linked my Instagram below, so pause the video and do that now before you forget. Now that you understand the skill set of sales and my 5-step framework, we need to get you on an offer so you can start selling and start making money online. Now, when it comes to landing a role, the first and most important thing is going to be your Loom video. When you record your Loom, make sure you have a clean background. You're going to be representing the company that you sell for on Zoom. What the sales manager is going to see from the camera in the frame is what their clients are going to see when they jump on a Zoom call with you as the closer. So having a clean background, crisp audio, being presentable, having a fresh haircut, and clean clothes is the bare minimum so that you don't get disqualified the first 10 seconds into the video. Assuming that you look presentable and have a decent background, the most important thing that's going to determine whether you land a role or you don't is going to be the way that you speak, your confidence, as well as your conviction and your ability to articulate your thoughts effectively. I want you to keep in mind the Loom video as well as the sales interview is no different than a sales call. On an interview, you're selling yourself to the solution to the sales manager on why you can solve their problem, which could be having closers that can't close. In the Loom video, always be honest and always be very transparent. If you don't have a lot of cash collected or much experience, that's fine, be honest. Now, next thing with your Loom videos, you always want to keep it personal. Don't just blast the same one Loom video to 200 people. We can see the view count. Personalize it every single time. Pro tip that I'll give you is make a basic Canva slideshow. All you want to do is just sub in the person's name that's going to be watching the video or the offer name. This way, you're able to get a lot of repetition in and all you're changing is the title. Now, you want to keep the rest of the Loom video consistent. You want to touch over your experience, who you are, why they should hire you, how hungry you are, what what you're gonna do that differentiates you from the rest of the Loom videos that they're watching. So just like a sales call, touch over the sales manager's pain points. Maybe a pain point is they're not dialing up all the no-shows and they're leaving money on the table that way. Maybe leads are opting into the funnel, but they aren't being dialed within the first 5 minutes and they're losing a lot of money. Throw that into your Loom video. Also, in the Loom video, you wanna state your availability and anything else that they ask for in the type form, because these are things that they're already looking for. If you could give that to them before they have to ask you, it's gonna make you a lot stronger candidate. After the Loom video is gonna be the sales interview. When you jump into the interview, you wanna listen attentively to the questions that are being asked. If you need a moment, don't do any ums or ahs or buts or whatever. Take a second, pause, and then answer. Feel free to clarify the question and give an articulate response. They might ask you to run you through their past experience. Talk about your experience honestly. And if you don't have much experience, you want to lead with your work ethic, as well as the training you've done, or even the people that you've been trained by. One more thing you want to do within your interview is you want to let them know something along the lines of, I understand that every offer, every ICP has different needs and there's a different way to sell to different people, and I'm ready to adopt new strategies and whatever you guys deem best for this offer. I'm very coachable and I learn really quickly. Saying something simple like that is going to make you immediately stand out, rather than if they ask you to talk about yourself as a person, don't just jump into your closing experience. They want to learn about you, because the best closers are people that are constantly self-developing. Your success in sales is directly linked to your ability to self-improve. So if you're in good shape, bring it up. That's going to show them that you're disciplined and you have the ability to put in the reps without seeing results right away. We love that. As far as getting sales interviews, a good place to start is just going to be by applying to them on High Ticket Sales Twitter and Instagram. So join as many free communities as you can. Always stay persistent on the follow-up, shoot out hundreds of DMs and follow up to those effectively. You'll land a role sooner than you think. DMs, Looms, and interviews, they work, but the reality is A-level offers, the ones with real earning potential, they hire through trusted and reputable connections. That's where I come in. I take all the risk. I put my reputation on the line for you as long as you prove yourself to me. This way, sales managers and offer owners know you're trained and you have the right skill set because you're coming from me. So if you want to take the shortcut, skip the trial and error, learn the skill set while saving months of your time, and then get placed on a 10K per month offer in 8 weeks, click the link in the description and apply to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. And no, this isn't just one of those things where I give you a bunch of PDFs and some pre-recorded videos and then we brush you off to the side. I'm gonna be pouring hours into you personally to make sure you can learn this skill set and we can reach your goals together. And at the end of the day, sometimes all you need is just a little bit of guidance. That's all I needed to turn my life around. So I won't bore you with the details. It doesn't change my life if you do this or not, but the link's there for those of you who are ready to change theirs. If not, that's completely fine. What you're gonna do is subscribe to my channel right now. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of value right here on YouTube. So watch that for a few days and then book in the free call whenever you're ready. One activity that I did with myself that allowed me to go out there and change my life so quickly. And it was very simply just auditing myself. Take a third person look at the mindset and the beliefs that you currently have, because the reality is those beliefs, that mindset has led you to exactly where you're at today. So if you don't have the income, the body, the relationship, whatever, sit down and think, what decisions am I making on a daily basis that have led me here? Take a pen and paper and write down the areas of your life that you actually want to improve. Actually, pause the video right now, grab a pen and paper, or do it on your notes app. This could be income, this could be your physique, you could want a girlfriend, this could be your mental health. Whatever's important for you, write that down. Now, for each one of these, write down a thought pattern or a habit that slows you down from having the growth that you want in your life. For example, fitness. If you want a better physique and you want to lose a lot of weight, you're going to the gym, but maybe it's your diet that holds you back. Ask yourself what happens. Maybe every single day when you're on your lunch break, you're going out and having fast food. Ask yourself why. Maybe because you didn't pack a healthy meal for yourself. So why didn't you pack a healthy meal? Maybe it's because you don't know how to cook or how to meal prep something healthy, or it takes way too long. So the root problem is you not knowing how to make a healthy meal that leads you to eating fast food every day on your lunch break, which means no matter how hard you work in the gym every single day, you're never gonna lose weight. The obvious solution is to learn how to meal prep and discipline yourself enough to do this every single day, every single week. Start with 1 meal out of 3 and progress slowly. Reality is, us humans, we have such limited willpower every single day. So the best thing you want to do is design your life to make it easy to do the right thing. Because deep down, you know what bad habits you have. A habit just popped into your mind. You know you should stop doing that, but you don't do it. Make it easy. Set up systems that'll allow you to go out there and stop doing these bad things that you know hold you back. Once you become intentional, that's when you're able to make a change. Same thing with making money. Most of the time, it just comes down to not knowing how to do it. Because the reality is, if you knew how to go out there, make 10, 15, 20 grand in a month as a closer, you'd probably go out there and do it. So what's missing? It's just having the right information, the right guidance, or learning how to land the right offers. If you had those things, you'd be living the life that you wanted to live. So before we end this video, ask yourself, which type of person am I gonna be after this video? The person that does nothing, or the type of person who audits himself, figures out what's missing, and takes action to change his life instead of just letting weeks, months, and years pass by again and again. So most importantly, what decisions will you make moving forward? If you've been stuck for 3 months or more at the same income or getting the same commission checks, something needs to change now. Either today's the day where you click the link below, get the right guidance, or it becomes one day like it does for 99% of people. That choice is yours.